Hey, what's up everybody? So in this video we're going to talk a little bit about some screenshots that I took, and this video isn't going to be too long, but what we're going to talk about is the Nazi zombies assembly line within the Final Reich. So starting off with the first picture, we have a picture of the morgue. This is obviously where Dr. Straub took dead bodies and started to experiment on them, and he ultimately hung these dead bodies up and they were on an assembly line. If we go to the next picture, which is in the laboratory, we can see where this assembly line is going. It's clear that he has been hard at work. He is trying to create an army, literally. And if we go to the next picture, you can see how the zombies are created. Now, gameplay-wise, I guess what is in the picture is a trap, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But initially, to create a zombie, to reanimate a dead person, they have to be given Geistkraft, and that is what this machine is for. So with that in mind, all of the power-ups start to make sense. I've seen many comments on how, oh, the power-ups, they don't make sense, they don't work, this is supposed to be realistic, here we have a floating hilt, and a whole bunch of other bullcrap because they don't want to think about it, they don't research, they don't do anything, and they want to say that there's magic involved when in reality the hilt is held in place by magnetism. Dr. Straub says it, the other characters say it. It is pretty obvious as to what is happening, and it is giving off this electrical field, possibly a frequency as well, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And ultimately, what happens is zombies are created from this energy. It's as simple as that. Dr. Straub says that the energy enters into the nervous system and reanimates the cerebellum, giving them function, bringing a human back to life. It's pretty clear. So when you think about, okay, the zombies have electricity in them, well, what does a nuke do? It gives off a electromagnetic pulse. It strips away all of the Geistkraft or jolts that is a part of the zombie. And when you look at double points, it's not that they get more jolts or they get more Geistkraft. What is happening is, if you remember in the prologue, Marie picks up this little yellow thingy that holds the special meter. Is it too far-fetched to say that maybe it holds the jolts that you carry, and it's not necessarily your body, per se, but it is within that canister? Maybe it's in your body as well, who knows. So when you get double points, it's not that the zombies get more jolts. What is happening is it is giving a stronger magnet for that little canister for a short amount of time. Maybe there's some sort of electrical interference that happens after a while, or maybe the magnet dies over time, if that's even possible, or maybe your canister just can't take it. It's sort of like you're overpowering the canister. It would be like if you had a remote that required AAA batteries, but you give it a car battery, you're going to have issues with that. It's overpowered, it's going to short circuit and do all kinds of weird shit. So this might be the same way, where it's not super bad, but it's not really good either, so it only lasts for a short amount of time. Out of all of the power-ups, the hardest one to explain is max ammo. And there is one way we can do it, if I can even talk, that basically says what is happening is it's simply a gameplay feature. It's as simple as that. The other way we can explain it is that there are electrical bullets that you are firing. So when you pick up max ammo, it is simply giving you more electrical bullets. Now, the reason for that theory is when you use free fire, all of a sudden your weapon becomes highly electrical. It shoots electrical bullets, and that to me just looks a little weird. It sort of looks like you're overcharging the weapon. But if there's nothing electrical in it in the first place, how is that happening? And so I got to thinking, well, you get these weapons from a locker. The locker, although it doesn't have an animation for it, it assembles the weapon you want. So if you spend 1,000 jolts to get a weapon, that weapon is given to you. It releases the weapon, you get the weapon, but there is no longer a weapon there. The machine has to reassemble a MP40 or an M1 Garand or an STG-44 or whatever it is, so that somebody else can grab the weapon as well. The Tesla gun is created the same way. The description for the mystery box is the same way, where it reassembles weapons, or it creates weapons. So there very well could be a huge factory underground that we simply can't see within the game for whatever reason. It's entirely possible that, like Dr. Straub says, that the power that the hilt gives off is insane. It's entirely possible that with the hilt he is able to create weapons using different materials, obviously using different bullets and things like that. Who knows? The point I'm trying to get across here is that, quite simply, what we're shooting could be something else. It might not be bullets, and then the next thing that people will go to is, okay, well then, why is there like this gunpowder sound? Well, if you've ever heard a Tesla coil thing, when you go to certain museums, they have this giant, I forget what it's called, but it's like a bird cage or whatever, and they have lightning going everywhere, basically. It is pretty loud. So if you have the crack of a tiny electrical charge, it's going to sound like a gunshot. Maybe not exactly, but it's there. So who knows, maybe I'm just throwing bullshit out there, I'm not really sure, but that is what I think. So anyways, with that being said, I will talk to you guys in the next one.